What tends to surprise firm leaders the most when they first see how much overhead they're absorbing from tasks that could be automated?
Some people absolutely love the data, right? So like we have one chain, they have 30 convenience stores, and they're probably getting like anywhere from 30 to 80 calls a day, right? And so now, because AI handles all of those calls, unless they are looking for something specific, it'll transfer over to a human. We have all of the data. We have all of the transcripts of those conversations. And so for them to be able to simplify that and just be like, okay, what was today about? What was this whole week about? Is super helpful for them, because owners of a business like that have no idea.
Many engineering firm leaders don't realize how much of their operational overhead is being eaten up by tasks a well-built system could automatically handle. And when they see it, the reaction is almost always the same. Why didn't we do this sooner? So the gap between how firms are running today and how they could be running with the right automation in place is wider than most expect, and closing it does not require a bigger team. Today, we're joined by Pritinder Singh, founder of True Creatives and co-founder of Denali Canning, who has helped businesses across industries design the back-end systems that allow them to scale without scaling their headcount. In this episode, we'll speak about what automation architecture looks like in practice, where CRM implementation most commonly breaks down, how to course correct, and how to think about the right pace of AI adoption, when to move fast, and when deliberate phased integration serves your firm better. If you're leading a firm and been wondering whether your operations are working as efficiently as they should be, or if you've been looking at AI tools without a strategy for where to start, this episode is for you. Before we jump in, I'll tell you about AEC PM Connect, a series of in-person events we've created at EMI for AEC project managers and leaders who develop them. You want to stay on top of PM trends, elevate your team, and deliver stronger project results? These full-day events are built for you. We're coming to Kansas City this October. Learn more and register at aecpmconnect.com. With that, let's jump into today's episode. It's now time for our conversation of the week with Pritinder Singh. Prince, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Absolutely. Super excited to be here and have a great conversation.
Yes, sir. So why don't we jump right into it then? So Prince, can you just walk us through where you are in your career right now and what's occupying most of your focus?
Absolutely. Definitely in the building phase for one company and in the scaling phase for another. And most of my time is truly being occupied about building right now, building my company, building my team, working on strengthening their skills so they can continue to push great outputs for our clients. And then on the scaling side of things, surprisingly boring. The company, Denali Canning, that we are scaling at the moment, it's rinse and repeat. We've been probably doing the same exact thing for the last 2.5 months. And we're just seeing steady increases there.
Beautiful. Yeah, nothing wrong with boring, repeatable models.
No, I think that's honestly like one of those funny signs. Like if your business is like rinse and repeat boring, that means you've created a foundation that is repeatable and is something that, you should just, I think it's a great time to keep that going, but it's also a great time to continue to learn and explore, because it is working, but there may be a point where you need to adjust or it may stop working, and you have to be ready for that as well. But knock on wood, we haven't had to do too much, honestly, for that side.
Absolutely. It's Prince, how do you define automation architecture? And then why does that matter for firms that manage complex multi-phase projects?
Yeah, for me, I think automation architecture is really allowing the strategists and the leaders of a company to be able to be at the best position to do that, right? And what happens is if you're a business owner on any level, you get sucked into doing tedious tasks or minor tasks. And that's where I feel like our automation architecture really plays an important role in allowing you to continuously be outside of your business instead of being inside your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for someone that has built brands from the ground up, one of the things that I felt has held me back and I've seen holds other entrepreneurs back is the perfectionist mindset, being involved in every little thing. And I think the power of a autonomous architecture can help bridge that gap, right? But with the caveat, it takes time. You can't have the assumption of, hey, I got an automation set up now, I have all this free time. No, the automation you probably set up is going to suck. It is not going to be as good as you imagined the first time. And so that's where the power of reiteration and teaching AI over and over again, at least 6, 7, 8 successful outputs will then get you to that output we all typically desire when we're like, hey, AI is going to take over my job. AI is going to take over this part of my company. That will eventually happen. But I think when I define it, it is a successful automated agent that is giving you time back to allow you to continue to work on the strategy and growth of your business, so you can continue to push those high levers.
Excellent. And, when you start talking about AI, I mean, there's many different tracks we can go down to, but just to keep it simple, most common operational bottlenecks that AI and CRM tools are best positioned to eliminate.
Oh, okay. Definitely, obviously, like inquiries, onboarding. So, like, obviously, one of the biggest things we do is like we're bringing in leads, right? And if you're doing paid marketing right now, there's a good chance in the beginning of paid marketing, you're going to have a lot of trash leads, especially if you're going on Meta, if you're going on Google. Sometimes, a lot of business owners we start working with, they'll start getting super excited when they get leads, and then they get really upset when the lead is not good. And so AI has done a really good job of qualifying people, making sure they are in that buying position or they're in that qualifying position to then get in a conversation with the real person to then, let's say, close, right? So I see a very big help there when it comes to CRM systems and being able to track all that stuff. I think missed opportunities is another huge thing. If someone's calling or someone's looking you up and your team is not available, these systems can play a big role on, again, delivering good quality service to those that are looking for it. Follow up, nurturing, referring more businesses in the future, right? If you have a great business, you should have a pipeline that goes from onboarded to project started to project successful to getting a testimonial to then continuing to add value to then getting a referral, right? That's kind of the process we work with. Is we are never afraid to ask for feedback from our clients, because some clients will be afraid to give feedback and then one day be like, all right, actually, I want to cancel your service, or I don't want to work with you guys no more. And I've seen that happen so often. And the main reason I've seen that happen is because the agency or the partner or whoever it is not taking initiative to ask for feedback. And that could be two reasons. Like, obviously, one could be like they're not paying attention. Two, they might be afraid to ask for feedback. And from my experience, every time I've asked for feedback, I've always gotten something I could take from it, whether it's positive, negative, or neutral, right? And it allows the business owners, the team, to feel more involved with it and more connected with everything that's being worked on.
Beautiful. So you kind of described through a client journey from the, whenever they start with the provider to, whatever the end result ends up being. But what does a well-designed client journey look like when automation handles all the repetitive touch points, but more importantly, where human judgment still has to take the lead?
Absolutely. I think even in the earlier stages, like humans are so important. I remember when like this huge wave of AI came into existence, and the growth has been absolutely beautiful. Like, for someone that is a tech savvy person like me, I always like love to stay up to date. But I think we have to teach our team on how to become great AI users versus, can I replace this person with AI, right? I think there's probably only one section where I see like AI could fully start taking over, and I still can't fully say that right now, is customer support. Like, if you have use cases where they're repetitive enough, AI could take over that. But talking about a full pipeline, definitely the beginning of the journey, AI could start it up, but then you need a human touch to verify, like, what kind of lead is this? We need to make some type of contact, because humans are not in a place where if they realize it's AI, they're going to discredit. It goes either or right now. It's a very yes heavy or a no heavy type of society we live in if someone realizes it's AI. And so that's where it's like very important. And it varies. For example, so one of our clients, we have a voice agent set up to pick up their calls when someone calls. And 90% of the time, they're like, transfer me to the store, right? They don't even want to talk to the AI to ask a general question, even though the AI can answer that really well. It's like just being able to have that touch point. So touch point in the beginning is really good. I think the middle part is where a lot of the opportunity lies, where it's like, yo, you want to do the check-ins, you want to get feedback, you want to get this information in between while the work is being done. That's a great place to have the automation come in, have conversations, but also take care of some of the work that the team needs to get done, right? So like, for example, we just built out some skills for like email marketing and SMS marketing, right? And we're getting to the point where AI can actually start drafting the whole email up, designed email, like a HTML designed email, and then send it over to our Slack channel. And then our team, our human touch is the approval. So I think the middle work is getting to the point where a lot of it could be done heavily by AI, but it still needs a approval gate before it gets pushed live. And then towards the end, where I'm looking at is like feedback and things of that nature. I think AI could probably take care of majority of that.
Beautiful. So then you go in, you're working with these clients. What tends to surprise firm leaders the most when they first see how much overhead they're absorbing from tasks that could be automated?
So like how much money they're saving by using AI is the question, or?
Yeah, it could be money saved. It could be experience, right? Getting some of their hours back to go hang with their families or work on the business.
Yeah, I mean, it's shocking. And it's always fun because it's always a different type of AI, right? There's like so many different tools and so many different use cases you can create. Some people absolutely love the data, right? So like we have one chain, they have 30 convenience stores. They're basically like a Wawa, right? They have gas stations and they have convenience stores. And they're probably getting like anywhere from 30 to 80 calls a day, right? And so now, because AI handles all of those calls, unless they are looking for something specific, it'll transfer over to a human. We have all of the data. We have all of the transcripts of those conversations. And so for them to be able to simplify that and just be like, okay, what was today about? What was this whole week about? Is super helpful for them, because owners of a business like that have no idea. They have typically no idea what is going on in their stores. They're like probably checking every month. And most of the time they also have very old-fashioned systems, because to them, they feel like that is the only source of truth. If we do it the tedious, hard Excel way, then the numbers are going to be accurate. If we manually input things, then we can trust that, right? So for them to see it evolve and them not to put that much time in, it's usually shocking. Like it's usually like very exciting to them and scary at the same time, because they're so used to this way they've been doing for like half a decade, over a decade. Other things like, having to update their website. They don't have to go in and update websites. They can talk to an AI bot, and now the AI can go and change the text, change the color, change the photo, right? So that alleviates a lot of like fake stress, right? Because like if a business owner is not tech savvy and they have to do something technical, that already ruins half of your productivity in a day. So now imagine being able to not have to even put any stress towards that, and that process has been simplified. Seeing that reaction, review replies has been a funny little feature, which is, it's not very complex, but a lot of owners are like, oh my God, how are we responding to reviews so quickly? And how does it sound like me, right? And that's gone a long way, obviously, in saving the team time, but at the same time, doing something they weren't even doing before. Most businesses don't reply to every single review. So now being able to have the opportunity to reply and make sure it's in their voice is not only helping them rank better, but it's also allowing them to see like these systems at work and their business getting better without them having to do anything. So those are some use cases. Yeah.
Yeah, I really well said, because there's, especially for the business owners who aren't as tech savvy, I think it removes that barrier. But then here comes, the other side is
transform your technical experts into impactful leaders with EMI's Engineering Leadership Accelerator. Tailored for AEC professionals, this program enhances communication, delegation, and decision-making skills. Flexible, interactive, and designed to fit your team's schedule. Elevate your team's leadership capabilities today. Visit engineeringmanagementinstitute.org and click on corporate training.
So how do you think about the right pace for adopting AI tools? So when do you recommend that a firm move fast, and then when does slow and deliberate integration actually serve them better?
I think, and I'm going to attest to this because I started this whole conversation, bless you, in the building phase, right? You have to start slow. I think you have to start slow, unless you have a fortunate enough team, which I think, there's going to be very few companies out there that are a team ready to be learning about these tools, right? So like, even when I put on a simple tool like, hey guys, we're going to start using Claude Cowork, right? it took them like half the team, it took a week to even download the thing, right? Even though it was all about, hey, let's do this and this. One fun way to really make it fun is to make everything a challenge. So what we started doing is like, hey, this last week, we did a 2-week AI bot challenge. And the challenge in my team internally was, hey, we are going to be working on creating a bot that will completely do one task for you, or will do work for you while you're offline. And that was kind of the instructions. And so even though maybe 2-3 of the team members didn't get it done, they got 80% there. And that was like about the integration and getting them to understand it. And now next week, we're going to be implementing these things where now they're going to be able to have some of like their research phase or some of their light implementation work taken care of by AI, and it's going to be ready for them for approval when they get back to their shift. And that's like super sick, because now I basically have a part-time employee working full-time because AI is involved, and the overhead is easily justifiable, right? Which in some cases, that's a whole nother conversation. Like, we've had some months where we've used a lot of credits, which we shouldn't have done, right? But to answer your question, yeah, it's do it slow. When you start getting momentum and everyone starts getting the gist of it, then you can start pushing the pedal to the metal. And then, like, this week has been very dope for us. We've gotten a lot of phenomenal results for our clients, like small wins this week. And I had nothing to do with them. Like, it was super cool. Like, I was very offline. I was working on some more higher level AI integrations that we're going to be bringing aboard onto the company so I can save my employees more time. And to be able to get wins while I'm doing that is just, it's like one of the reasons I love doing this, so.
Excellent. So, and Prince, if firm leaders listening today could improve just one thing to strengthen project outcomes, where are you telling them to start?
Ooh, okay, that's a good question. If I were to tell them to work on improving one thing for project outcomes, I think it really goes back to quality, quality and little details every single time. And so what is a good way to use it is maybe even having a quality assurance checker. And so, depending on the firms, those little details that get missed by even some of the high level employees or your best team members, to have those things in place and to ensure that the standard of your company is being met in each project, right? Because I think when we are able to do that with our clients and we're able to deliver those little details, it just puts an immense amount of trust in them for us a lot quicker. And when we're able to build that rapport quickly enough, then they trust us to do whatever we got to do. And it's not like, oh, so what's going on here? What is this about? What is this, right? Because those little things will take away momentum. Those things will take away time from why you brought us in the first place. Yeah, so like quality assurance is huge. And I think, you do that by having those things in place to make sure it's up to your standard, but also you're having that communication with your clients that you're working on the project with.
Love it. Quality and attention to details. But Prince, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. If the audience wants to reach out to you, learn more about what you guys do, or just connect, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, definitely our website, truecreatives.com. So TRU without the E. You can check out everything we do there. All my socials are at It's Pritinder. So just at It's my first name, Pritinder. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, showcasing my journey, what we're building, how we work with our clients, and yeah, just learning more about what we do.
Excellent. All right, Prince. Well, thank you again so much for your time. It's been great having you on.
Absolutely, Nick. Thank you so much. Appreciate you as well.
You got it. Till next time. Please remember, you can find the show notes for this episode at aectechpodcast.com. There, you'll find a summary of the key points discussed in today's episode, as well as links to any of the resources, websites, or books mentioned during this episode. Until next time, I wish you the best in all your engineering and technology endeavors.